I think we're all well acquainted with the feeling that the household is getting out of control, whether it's your children, whether it's clutter feeling kind of overwhelming. There's always times in our parenting where things just feel like it's just simply too much. And today I want to give you some easy wins to get over that hump and back into the motherhood you want to be living. I think we're all acquainted with that feeling of just overwhelm as moms. It can be from our children's clutter, it can be from our schedules, it can be from our home. But just because it's normal doesn't mean it's something that we should be having in our life. And there will be seasons where things just feel a little bit more chaotic. But if you're feeling like that is just your baseline these days, I want to get you out of that because I have been there too. I actually just had to do this in my own home, and the last few days have been heavenly. They've just been so much sweeter, and I have been so much calmer. And my first thought is, I need to make a video about this because I think it would really be helpful to other parents. If you're new here, my name is Ellie, and on this channel, I talk about biblical motherhood and intentional living. And normally, my lighting isn't as weird and my voice isn't as raspy. Our family is just going through it. Like the sickness this spring has just been so yucky. I feel like we've been sick for a few weeks now, and now we have a thunderstorm rolling in naturally as I pull out my camera to film. But we're gonna push through it because I want to get this out to you guys. I kind of am seeing it as like a spring cleaning of my motherhood, and that's how I'm framing it in my head. And I'm hoping that it's helpful for you to kind of dust out the cobwebs as we go into spring and summer, which is inevitably a little bit more of a hectic season. Yes, love. So I think I was gonna go trying to think of like an order to go in, like from easiest to hardest, I guess. I wouldn't say any of these are difficult, but I think I'm just going to randomly give you the different ideas. The first thing is something that I actually just did a video about. So if you haven't seen that already, go check it out because I'm not going to go too much into it in this video since I just deep dived. I'll put it in the cards somewhere, but it is biblical parenting phrases. It was such a game changer in my motherhood. And when I find myself feeling a little bit more scattered as a mom, like I am pulling from I don't know what to try and parent, just trying to use my own mental strength, it's too much for me. I get overwhelmed so easily. So, having these phrases, the whole point of them is not having to create um, like scripts, I suppose, that you're not having to think on how to address every issue in your home. You kind of can, I don't want to say go into autopilot because obviously you don't want to parent from autopilot, but you can have a framework to, or a starting place, I suppose, for those moments of correction or teaching for your children. So, if you're not a Christian, you can just create phrases based on what you see as pain points in your home. But I'm a Bible believing Christian, so I pull mine straight from the Bible. I use God's word to inform the standards we have for our home and for myself. So that's where I get mine from. And like I said, I'll link that somewhere. But that is the first thing that I just cannot recommend more, to just feel like you are not parenting from a place of complete and utter overwhelm. The second little parenting win that I recommend you implement when you just feel like you need to feel like something is going right is to really, really actively seek out the things your children are doing well right now and celebrate those. My husband did this in such a fun and sweet way. There was one day, I forgot what was going on, but one of our kids did something above and beyond what we asked of them. So he pulled up this is so silly, this song on, I think it might have been on Spotify. It's like an air horn, like the do 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 do. But it's a whole song based on it. It's like dubstep. It's very off-brand for us. Obviously, we don't seem like a dubstep home, but the kids loved it. They thought it was so fun. And so now when they do things that are above and beyond, my husband will just like pull out the air horn and we'll celebrate those wins. So when we're looking for those little wins, sometimes when we're feeling so overwhelmed, it's so easy to look at everything and see all the things that are going wrong. But finding a way to celebrate intentionally when things are going right will help you to realize that, like, maybe things aren't as terrible as I think they are right now. Okay, so number three, this is kind of in line with number two, but I recommend when your home is feeling out of control, like specifically the mess in your house is out of control feeling, taking a walk. I know that sounds silly. I cannot tell you the amount of times where I have been so overwhelmed by everything in the house, just seeing it all the time, looking around and seeing the utter chaos. And I am just thinking, this house is out of control. I just am looking and I'm seeing all of the messes that need to be cleaned. And then one of my kids say, "Can we take a walk?" And I want to say no, but I try and, you know how it is in motherhood, try to lay myself down and be like, "Sure, we'll take the walk." And we take the walk. And when I come back, I kind of look around and I think, this really isn't as bad as I thought it was. So yeah, I just feel as though when we get out of the mess, when we remove ourselves from the mess, we're able to kind of remove ourselves from that nagging feeling of so much needs to be done. And then when we come back into it, because we're not doing that mental checklist, hopefully, I mean, there are times when you still are on the walk and you're doing that, but if you try to let that go, when you come back, you'll realize that that mental checklist that you were thinking was like a mile long is actually like three things that won't take very long. We really have a storm coming in, don't we? Okay, so number four is once again right off the back end of number three, but your children have to do chores. And I feel like when you say, I know for me, when I, my children would do kind of chores, like I would have them tidy up their room and it would be met with like complete, utter, like chaos or tidying certain things up. And I just felt like everything was such a power struggle. The idea of introducing chores into our home, like that were more specific, I was like, I can't even get them to clean their bedroom. How can I expect them to sweep the floor, wipe down the windows, anything above and beyond, like bare minimum? And then I decided I was just going to try it. I was just going to do it anyway because I was really feeling like I was drowning as a mother. And oh my goodness, it makes such a big difference to have your children help. And the one thing that has to get out of your mind is the perfectionism mindset. We have to let that go and set it aside. And if you're a mother, you already know that that's something we kind of have to let go of. But when we let go of everything has to be perfect and done is better than perfect, you will, the things that you weren't even getting to because you always felt so overwhelmed, hand it to your kids because a lot of times they love to do this stuff that we're dreading to do. Like, I cannot tell you the last time I washed my cabinets on my, like the front of my cabinets. I just have, I never, it's never the first thing in my mind. And then one day I asked one of my children to do it for me. And he loved it. It was so fun for him. He got the spray bottle out and he had the rag and he was spraying it. Is it done perfectly? No. Is it better than it was when it wasn't cleaned at all? Absolutely, it is. If you want me to go more into how we do chores, just let me know down below. That is something I would be happy to go into, but I don't really, I don't know if that would be a blessing or not. And if you've been following me for a while, you will probably be able to guess what I'm going to say for number five, whether it is on Instagram or here on YouTube. But declutter. When we are feeling overwhelmed, a lot of times it is, as mothers, we are so impacted by our environment. And every single thing that we own is a job. We have to maintain it. We have to make sure that it's put back where it belongs. We have to know where it is in the house. It's just, it's a whole thing. Every single thing is a whole thing. So having less means we are freeing parts of our brain that are currently burdened with little maintenance. I just went through our home and decluttered I thought we had a fairly minimal house and I looked through our home and was like, How could I say that of myself? There's so much here. So we just went through and did a whole declutter. We're not completely done yet. I'm still in the process. Honestly, I'm kind of a crafting hoarder, so I need to go through my craft room and get rid of some things. But I have seen a complete 180 in what I'm even able to do as a mom now because I don't have that mental burden of tidying and maintenance and feeling like everything's a mess because there's so much to keep after. And there you have it. Those are 5 easy parenting wins for when you are just feeling overwhelmed and drowning in parenthood. If you have not subscribed already, I would love to have you. We're getting super close to 1,000 subscribers, and I'm just so excited about that milestone. I know it's a little one, but it's important to me. So if you're not subscribed already, please consider doing so, and I will see you in the next one.